Let's start recording. Okay. Now, are our team leads in here? Lenka, Moni, is Deska Ungro in here, and also Daniel? We don't have them, so we'll just have to see how this goes. Now, guys, let's give it a short while, but before that, I have tried one more time to use Padlet, redeem myself from last Tuesday when I didn't manage to do it. So our task is very quickly to go to this link. I will copy it for us into the chat. Click anywhere in the screen and brainstorm about Zoom positives. Okay, positive things that we have been experiencing using Zoom. Is the task clear?
Yes.
Yeah, all right, let's copy. Half of it is clear because we don't have the link. Here it is. So let's see if I can redeem myself because last time this didn't work. So could you please click on it and brainstorm? You can do it a couple of times. If you wish, you can write your name. It's up to you.
Click or copy the link, Chrissy.
Just click on it. Click on it. Somebody is already
It's
doing
not
it.
active. It's not active.
Oh.
But we can copy it.
Yeah.
Oh, okay, copy it then. It's not active. Why?
I don't know.
It's active for me.
Doesn't matter.
I don't know. It's okay. Copy it if it's not. It's okay. Okay. So we've got another minute. Not many people are doing it. Why not?
I am doing it.
We are doing it.
That's all that matters.
Yeah, but oh, they're quizzing here. This is lovely. Okay. So again, could you please add your thoughts? Somebody said crystal. I'm not sure what that is in relation to Zoom.
So can we? So I have to click on the wow. Let's to
Click on the screen anywhere and add your
comment.
Yeah.
But it doesn't. It's not active. I don't know. Maybe to
Double click then. Double click.
double click. Okay.
Okay.
Double click.
Maybe my instructions were poor. Next time it needs to be-
Okay.
Shut up here. Okay. All right. Hey, many people here, but we're coming to a closure. Last comment in there because we need to move on. Okay, nobody's writing. Why are you guys tired? Oh, okay.
We've just finished classes.
Yeah, I know. With me. Exactly, I know. Okay, now guys, I want to share. Now, I mean, some of us have been using Padlet for a while. Otherwise, others don't know about it yet. Others are kind of interested but haven't used it much. So you see, it looks like this, and it's sort of a way to a great brainstorming board, if you will. Now let's see what you. Yeah.
I think you need to update it in order to see there were more comments while we were writing.
Are you sure this is all I saw? I will definitely do it.
Try it, fine.
Yeah.
Oh, here we go. Okay, okay. So I needed to reload, basically, to refresh the page, which is fantastic. So guys, let's have a look. Crystal clear sound. Yeah, baby. Okay. I have control over the classroom. Really? Really cool. Marinka, was this you?
No, it wasn't.
Okay, but you know, we're mighty powerful teachers. We have control over the classroom always and forever. Okay, this is really cool. Clear sound again, people commenting on the sound. Time management, how interesting. What did you mean by time management?
Maybe better time management. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Because
Why?
you can see it there. Yeah.
Yeah, you can
What
see
can
the
you see?
clock all the time, and you can
There are
time your
two,
activity
yeah, two options.
better.
You can always see the clock.
Mm.
If you are doing classes, it's harder. I mean, you can't constantly look at your clock.
Okay.
Let's see, for example, the breakout rooms, if you have the time limit, it is the time limit, it kicks them out, for example.
About the
So
breakout,
you can manage actually sometimes time better.
Yes, with the breakout rooms, okay, let's not make it longer. I just don't think this is exactly the thing that is difficult to time, because you don't know when they will enter the breakout room. Exactly. It's I'm thinking about exam preparation, of course, not general English, because there the activities have to be timed precisely, but starting from the time that they enter, and it's slightly different.
Okay, well, Zoom is not a time management tool.
No,
It's a web conferencing
that's
tool.
my
So,
point.
yeah, exactly. So time management in a way depends on our skills, yeah? How good we are at
Absolutely.
time management.
But it helps become faster when you do something. Maybe the colleagues meant that.
Yeah.
You know, my favorite of all of these is a coronavirus-free environment.
Yes.
Kind of cool. Okay, now guys, so the idea here is that Zoom is a tool we've all been using now, and we are becoming better and better at it, and maybe some of us are better at time management. But now what we want to do is focus a bit on methodology, with the front door being Zoom. And what is that we're talking about? We're going to separate into 4 breakout rooms. Now let me share the screen here for a sec to show you what I mean. Okay, we are going to get into, is this readable, guys? Is it visible?
Yeah.
Yeah? Okay, so we'll get into 4 groups. One of them with Daniel. Is Daniel here?
I don't see him though.
Okay, so let's see. And the group here is to generate practical ideas on ensuring equal involvement of all students. That's really challenging in the virtual world. So what are some ideas on how to do that? Now, could I ask one of is there a volunteer who would like to facilitate, moderate this room? Hey, I'm getting a phone call. Is this possible that this is Daniel, guys? This is a 3rd call. I'm sorry, I need to pick it up very quickly, okay? Very quickly. Daniel? Daniel, that's you. Okay. And we're waiting for you, buddy. Oh, but I was in a class. Okay, so we need, Mile, could I ask you to forward the room to Daniel?
All right.
Okay. You're going to get a message any moment from Mila, okay, Daniel?
All right.
Yes, okay, thank you. Okay. All right, we just had an example of what not to do in a virtual classroom, yeah? Pick up phone calls. This is fantastic, but I had a feeling. Anyway.
But it saved lives.
Yeah.
It's life, Chrissy. Why? Yeah, anything might happen.
That's agreed. Thank you, guys. Okay, so one group is going to play with this, equal involvement. The other group, the 2nd group, will play with monitoring effectively in the virtual room. A 3rd group, and this is Irena. Irena is the team lead in here. Then we have a 3rd group, DESCO. This is a difficult one. Ideas on addressing mistakes. And DESCO Ungurova is leading this group. And the last group is practical ideas on opportunities for communication, whether this is writing or speaking. And Moni and I are going to help each other, and with everybody's help in the group. Right, so I'm going to go ahead. Now the team leads, you have access to the file, I can see, yeah?
Yeah.
Okay, meanwhile, Daniel is working on it, so let's get into the breakout rooms. Okay. Give me just a sec to set this up. So can you just very quickly help me? Actually, don't help me, I'll help myself. Irenka is group 2. Group 1 is Daniel when he comes in. Did he just join, Daniel?
He will soon.
He will any moment. Let's see, we've got Irenka in room 2. We've got Desi in room 3. And in room 4, I need Moni and myself. Okay. So guys, the team leads, please share your screen with the file. Find the slide and start generating ideas there. If you're very productive and you have more ideas, add a slide after your slide and continue with the ideas.
Okay.
How many slides, Chrissy?
That's the attitude.
As many as we can. Okay? All right. Ready?
Okay. Let's start with the first at least.
Let's go for it. Now, guys, how much time do we need for this? I will set it to 12 minutes. Is that a lot? I think it's enough. If you're done, okay, if I need to, I'll send a message and break the rooms and we'll come back, okay?
Okay. Thank you, Chrissy.
Ready, steady, let's go for it. Okay. Daniel, room 1. Marinka, assigned room 4. Okay, join. Okay, you're coming back. Daniel, it's so good to see your face. Yeah. Okay.
Mr.
Yes.
Daniel.
Yes.
Was it 12
Mr.
minutes?
Daniel for you.
It was 12 minutes. Did we not have enough time? If you wish, we can continue a little bit.
No.
No, it was enough.
No? Well, let's
Okay.
share. Let's have a look at the file. There is a lot more. I also feel like a 40-minute session is not enough for all the ideas that we are, that we have and we can share.
Can we make it longer, Chrissy? Because we have different ideas to share.
Can we not, because we have other things to do?
Yes.
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Okay,
Okay.
so let's look at, this is actually kind of good because maybe it will feed into another section that we can still share ideas. So let's go with Daniel. Here is what you guys have written. So can you guys share your thoughts here? Here it is. It's going to open up any moment now. There.
Yeah, basically what we discussed, our task was about ensuring equal involvement, and yeah, there are some challenges. Basically, like in a normal classroom, they work quite well, in pairs, groups. The moment you want them to share, in front of the class, they go quiet. So we discussed that we can nominate a particular student. We can also ask, use the chat, some personal messages. So even if they make a mistake, they are not, they won't be afraid of making mistakes, hopefully. A whiteboard to oh, that's not ours.
Chrissy, could you
Yes.
go back to the first slide? Yeah.
Have I not? Oh gosh, I'm sorry. Here we go.
Okay.
I apologize.
Yeah, probably it's also we discussed some students can dominate. They would like to talk more, just participate more. So again, we can nominate a particular student, and again we can use the chat and or whiteboard, for them to produce the language. Yeah. We also discussed, an issue with shy students, which is, they don't want to say anything in front of the others. So the solution could be, using breakout rooms as often as possible, or we see fit. And then you give more personal feedback. You just go and you just spend, shy or weaker students, maybe I should add. And you can give more like a personal feedback, while visiting the rooms. So
Or
that's
also, well, one thing we forgot to add here is also we said you can put students in charge, giving different roles so that to
Yeah.
equal participation, or you can give them the right to nominate the next person to answer. For example, they do the nominations as well, which is another opportunity, which we more often would use with kids in the face-to-face classroom, but kids allowed, I think.
Adults love this.
Yeah, absolutely. But yeah.
It's fun.
And think of ways in which to optimize the feedback as well on tasks, like as we said, the chat or the whiteboard, so that everybody has to contribute. This is a way of maximizing participation as well.
I also tried to set the rules at the beginning when I started teaching online, and giving more information at the beginning, explaining them why everybody needs to participate, And when you say what the rules are, that everybody needs to take part and will be nominated or something like that, Yeah, it's beneficial. Yeah, they know what to expect and they feel more confident, and yeah.
Okay, let's look at the next group, Irenka, plus team.
We were not so quick. We actually stopped somewhere at the beginning of the class. So at the beginning of the session, me and Tanetta discussed and agreed that both of us make a list of the students present and check against their name. I even recheck for latecomers, but it turned out that it appeared that some of our colleagues don't have such a problem and they can keep track of attendees. So the other thing that we discussed at the beginning is that we have to understand how much of the previous lesson have the students grasped and know. That's why we can do it using different tools, checking homework assignment, written, audio, or video. This is what Jeanette also shared with us. Worksheets prepared by the teacher, or just asking some questions like fill in the blanks, true, false questions in the chat, in the poll, which is very useful, or on the whiteboard. I didn't have time to write it. Also, during the lesson, we should ensure that everybody understands the new material. This is hopefully and luckily, if they manage. So during presentation stage, we should monitor, ask how students manage by asking some concept checking questions and nominating individuals. Tick against each name to ensure that you ask everybody. This is also during the controlled practice, and more or less this is what we managed to share. So we should continue monitoring in the breakout rooms. From my experience, ideally we should visit all the rooms, but if we don't succeed, next time we should visit the room that we have not.
Great.
Oh yes, so about regrouping, if the teacher has time, it is very good if we group stronger students when we practice fluency. For me, it is the most workable and doable. And if we work for accuracy, maybe it's better to group weak with strong students.
I think it's the opposite. But...
The opposite.
Well,
it depends.
But if we work for fluency, stronger students could dominate, and the weak will not have the chance to say anything.
But the way you said it, weak with strong for fluency, there will be somebody talking, but it will always...
Strong plus strong and weak plus weak. Her idea, if I got it right. Is that Irena?
Yes. Yes.
Whatever. Groups of 3, I think, work better for mixed stability because there's like always somebody who can generate ideas in case. Instead of 2.
Yes. When we visit rooms, we like teachers could also add some ideas and feed in some language if needed while monitoring. To ensure variety of speaking activities, what I do is recreating the rooms so that different people speak with their peers. And okay, one thing that in order to prevent the waste of speaking time when you send the students in the breakout rooms, I instruct them initially to start in alphabetical order, to start talking to each other or asking questions, because very often they waste time wondering who to start, and this is what I have found out as that's something that works. And that is Chrissie.
Well, it's this last one I've never done, and I think it's a great idea.
Yeah, it is.
Thank you.
Great.
Maybe for...
But the problem is, like, for example, Atanas will always start first.
No, but Daniel, she's talking about, if I get this right, she's talking about not like, I mean, obviously, this is not going to happen every time because people have ideas, they jump in, they
I know. But
they're quiet and somebody has to start, so Atanas goes.
Yeah.
That's how Atanas will always be prepared.
There you go.
All late.
Okay, guys, let's move on to the third group. Ooh,
Yeah, oh, we didn't. It's because I wrote on the, yeah, I can share my file because I wrote on a downloaded file. I didn't know that we had to write now.
Go ahead, Desco. This is not to worry, okay? Go ahead.
I know. There we are. We exist.
All right. Whew. Okay.
Okay, we just stuck to the basics, to be honest, about addressing mistakes, mostly error correction. All the students expect this from us, to the point that they think this is our job, more or less, correcting their errors. So what if you don't hear all the errors is the problem then? Well, no problem. The ones that you have to hear, you will hear them again. Like you will hear them from other people. Unless all the same student will repeat the same mistake. So that's not really a big deal. How do you record them? Word file is good, especially for longer activities, giving opportunities for highlighting, tracking, and later maybe sending the file to the students so that they can work with it at a later stage when they're at home, reflect on it, whatever. We used the chat box. Several people shared ideas, like, for example, some Shire students want to test things to see if they're correct before they share with the group. Or also if you want to point out something individually, or you can do it on a piece of paper and later produce something on the whiteboard or Word file or whatever. This Word file is great for longer activities. If the activity is long enough, it gives you time to create a short exercise and sort the mistakes by type and so on. But for shorter activities, not so much. It can be confusing, at least for me. But I'm an idiot. Look, I was the only one who didn't write in this file.
Oh, come on, Desco. You had the workaround, so this is lovely.
Okay. Right. So when do you deal with those mistakes? Obviously, you can't interrupt students. You wait for at least part of the activity to finish, although sometimes you do have to interrupt even like a longer activity if you see that everybody is doing it wrong for some reason. You need to point something out, or depending on the type, what we differentiated between is like controlled practice and more freestyle activities. And are there situations in which we don't correct mistakes? If the sole purpose is, let's say, bonding, some fluency activity, or if the mistake is irrelevant to your purpose. Or let's say, example that we thought was something which is beyond the level, like B1 making mistakes with past perfect, and like, no, I'm not going to teach this lesson now. You just ignore and wait for it to come. The others won't notice it that much. How do you correct mistakes? Obviously, you start with self-correction, peer correction, then clues, point out rules leading to the answer, and if there is no help forthcoming, then you just give them the answer perhaps, but then you have to put it in some context. Otherwise, what's the point? Like, yeah, I know the correct answer. The point is that it somehow stays with the student and they manage to at least identify this mistake later. And this could happen by sending them this collection of errors in different files, Word files or whatever, pointing out rules, revising rules, or raising awareness in some other way about why this mistake occurred and how it can be avoided in future. Because the whole point is that the students monitor their own performance. Otherwise, we're just being the sage on the stage and just not helping the students learn.
Back on the side.
Yeah, and that's it.
Yeah.
That's great. I like the idea with the file and the correct.
Thank you, Desi. That was very, very good. Thank you so much. Can I say just something?
I'll stop sharing, right?
Yeah, just to say that, guys, you know, when we have our consultation and testing before we assign students to the groups, this is something that they usually ask for. Error correction.
Of course,
so maybe,
of course.
you know, that was brilliant that you showed, Desi. Thank you so much. Maybe just one more thing. Explain students how you're going to correct them, maybe at the beginning of the course, because we have just started this course, right?
Yes.
You need to know, because sometimes they can't think about being corrected. If you, how to say, if you...
Yeah, I think there should be an agreement. I think there should be an agreement about how you will correct them.
Yes.
You have a point there, because they need to know. So some students get offended, like.
Yeah. But if they know at the beginning.
Yeah. I think it's essential. For me, I always point it out, like if they don't learn to monitor what they say and correct themselves, they will never learn, actually. They'll never improve, essentially.
Yeah. Thank you so much. Yes.
All right. So Desko, you proved to be a very, very smart, intelligent person.
Come on.
I did it. So
and
let's
self-deprecating.
No, well, yeah, we tend to do
At
this.
the same time.
We just want to achieve a lot. Now here, we're moving to group number 4, and this is Moni and maybe myself to finish off at the end. So can we, Moni, have you chosen a pink color?
No.
And it says an anonymous frog. So let's go for it.
Well, so basically what we discussed is that we have to put the students more in breakout rooms, because if we don't do that, the approach will be more teacher-centered. Basically, we have not to take the floor all the time, and we have to make sure that the students do their pair work activities. Basically, to check if an exercise is correct, you can send them to breakout rooms for a very short period of time so that they check, or just do the speaking exercises as well there. And another problem that comes with that is that if they don't know how to enter the breakout room, that's why you have to guide them in the beginning, at least the first 5 or 6 times, so they know that they have to click join, because if they are A1 level, they could have problems with that. And another thing we should monitor is that some people may be left out. They may not join on time, or they may get disconnected. So you should have the breakout rooms window open during all times, because basically if somebody goes out and enters again, you have to assign them their previous breakout room, because the person that's there, they may have nobody to speak with, and so on. And the other idea that we had is basically called collaborative writing. I'm going to share my screen to show you now. Chrissy, can
I will definitely.
Okay, let me just share it now. So basically, this is what I do in Google Docs. I split the students in groups and I send them to breakout rooms, and there they have to write, basically do a writing activity. So they discuss it. It's like 2-in-1. They discuss it, so they basically improve their speaking, and at the same time they have to write something, and they write it with black. Then I switch the groups, and group 2 gives some feedback to the writing of group 1, and they do that with blue. And then I give the final feedback. And this is one way to do the activity. You can do it with different activities. Here is from another group, basically.
Yeah, you could start the file and they could give you feedback. Yeah. Why are you always last?
Well, yeah. And the other way to do these activities you can give it for homework, for example, and each student can write their own activity. For example, here, a job application, and then my group was very small. That's why I decided that all the students should give feedback, and they are going to do that. But for the time being, I mean, now it's empty. But after they write their basically job application, they write the feedback. Or if your group is bigger, like my teenage students, there I do it the same. They write, for example, their book review, and then one person gives feedback to another. You basically switch the people. And that's some ways to do this kind of activity. I mean, you can also switch, use different tasks, different ways to do it. But I think that Google Docs is a pretty convenient way to do that.
Yeah.
And you can keep the file after that and upload it to Moodle, and then everybody has access to this file and they can actually see everybody's work.
Yeah, no, I mean, they can do that even now. I mean, they can enter the file and they can see everything. And this file, it won't expire, or at least not for the duration of their course. So.
And where is the file, Moni?
Well, in Google Docs, I mean, when you enter Google Docs, I mean, you can see all of your files here. I mean, here I have a lot of files. And you just, I mean, once you share them, the link, I usually share the link in the chat, and afterwards I copy paste the link next to their homework in the take attendance page. And they can always go there and click on the link or copy the link and basically access the file.
It has a side effect as well when people, because the document is shared, when people see that others have actually written and they haven't, they kind of feel guilty and they feel a must. They have to go in there and actually say something.
Peer pressure.
So there is peer pressure, agreed. Okay, lovely, Moni. So can I gain control of the stop sharing? I don't want to stop it for you because it'll be impolite, yeah? Okay, so we're almost at the end. Hopefully you've got some practical ideas. Now, I wanted to share some ideas very quickly in relation to speaking. Now, we're all very creative people. I attended Oxford seminar thanks to Katie Chivicka reminding me that I was supposed to be there, which is fantastic. And I think Vessi Dimitrova is in here and she was there as well. So some of these ideas I got from there. Now, all of us have a collection of, I mean, we have different experience, but some things not to forget. We do have the photocopyable activities on the Cambridge platform, I know some people like them, others not, or like some of them and not all of them. Obviously, we're all like that. But the thing is, they're there, and you can use them. You can use bits of them to ask students to work on in breakout rooms, Also on Cambridge, they have ideas for forum and message board activities and other things you can look at, and speaking practice as well. In other words, we can borrow ideas from there if we feel stuck, and we want something different in the next lesson. Another idea which I recently, well, I don't know where I got it from, but we can assign roles as they come into the room. For example, some people can be the people who, no matter what, they will play the devil's advocate. Other people, they will always disagree. Other people will always agree. And you start giving them ideas, these people get into the roles, and it becomes this kind of fun activity. At times you might actually forget, why does he always disagree, or she? Well, because that's the role, but you have to get into the role, think about how you will disagree, politely or impolitely. And the whole time you're this person. Just something to consider. It's an option. Then picture collage. Now this is Sean, I forget what his name is.
Well done.
Yeah, he shared it yesterday. Was it yesterday, the day before, or the day before? An Oxford guy. They had invited him to talk, and he suggested asking people to take photos of course you have to demo this first, but take a few photos, say 3 or 4, of things that are related to things that are happening to you at the moment. Make a collage of them. There are free collage builders online, or you don't even have to do that. Just display, share these activities, have people guess what's going on in the images, and then tell your story. Of course, you can get creative with this, but this is one way to make them speak. Polls, they already came up earlier. Irena mentioned them. Polls are very easy to set up. You have to get in your own room for the day, for this class, and create a poll there to help you. You know, do that. You might want to create it in a document, so you have a copy of it before that, and you just copy the answers and questions there. And oops, sorry, okay. And then warmers and energizers and re-energizers, if you kind of feel like it's becoming boring or there isn't enough energy in the room. Would you rather questions? Lots of them on the web. Spell words backwards. This, by the way, there's some research that it helps us learn how to spell words forwards. So if you try to imagine them backwards, it's difficult, it's challenging, but it's kind of cool. Chat games. He gave an idea, for example, if we were to ask people here, pick a number between 1 and 4 and quickly write it in the chat. It's all right, 1, 2, 3, 4. And then he suggested, okay, all the 1s, you're in one team. All the 2s, you're in a second team. All the 3s, all the 4s. And then he started asking questions. Okay, write words that start, no, write words relate that something that's the color red. But when you write the answer, you have to write 1 and then cucumber. No, cucumber is still not red. What have I been drinking? Okay, but you get the idea, yeah? Like you say 1 tomato, 2 whatever. In this way, we will know how many 1s have answered, how many 2s, and it creates this kind of competitiveness in the chat room. This is a chat game. Another example he gave, what was it? Oh, I forget now. But in other words, you ask questions, you have people answer, but they have to start with a number because we don't have colors that we can use in the chat room. Everything is black, yeah, when we write. But if we write the number before our answer, like 1 cucumber, I love cucumber, I'm gonna make tarator later. Anyway, this way it creates competitiveness and gets people talking.
I do answers like this, and I mean, not exactly, but in a competitive way, like you have to write the answer to a different question. This is for longer tasks, for higher levels. And you have to write the answer very quickly and you're assigned a certain number.
Based on what you answer or not?
No, it just gets like, I nominate, this person answers this question, like everybody gets a question and they type them and they appear at the same time. Like the key appears at the same time.
Yeah, oh, that's good.
So it's fast, like, and it comes from them. And then we discuss like, oh, this is not, I don't have this, and so on.
Okay, very cool. I mean, there are lots and lots of ideas. Just some things here to think about, but oh no, I want to show you this, but in a moment. Okay, then ideas for outside the classroom. Guys, I just wanted to remind you, I mean, of course, it depends on whether you favor the idea or not, but we have on our course wall a speaking assignment section.
Yeah.
And if you want, I mean, there are 2 shells, I call them shells, but 2 assignments already created. I have modified them here for my students, but you could ask them to make a recording. Yeah, and then you decide how you give them feedback. I made recordings myself. This is time-taking, yeah, it does take time, I know, but you can get creative. Maybe you can give them like general feedback in class, I don't know, but making recordings is not, I mean, it's a process. This means we have some target language, they need to plan what to say. Some people write it out, others that are better, they write notes and then they speak about it, and they probably drink a glass of wine or a few, some even go for a bottle, and by the end of it, they actually probably make a recording 10 times before they finally deliver it. And so the process is actually really important, what I found. Just a reminder that this is here. They can use their phones. There are recorders on the computers, or vocaroo.com is a free place. I can write it in the chat. You know, it's a website and it's free and it's very easy to use. Okay.
KrissieA, did they actually do that?
Yeah, if you click here, am I a teacher here? Yeah, they did it, and I do it all the time, Moni. It does take time.
No, I mean, did they manage to send it successfully?
Yeah, they uploaded it here.
Okay.
It's very
They drag and drop it.
Well, okay, great example here. Okay, but they have, I mean, I have many, Moni, I keep doing it in my classes all the time, and they record. Some of them ask whether other people can hear it. They're quite conscious whether other people can hear their recording, and it depends on how you've set it up. These here are assigned.
No, I'm saying it because for some of these things,
Hey,
the
what?
option for file submission is not ticked, so they can only add online text. For example,
But you can do it. You can edit.
Yeah, I can edit. Yeah, I do it. But I mean, for example, if somebody decides to do it from here and they don't know about that, and he says that to their student, and the student may not know where to attach their file because there isn't an option to.
They can email it to you. Lots of them, I mean, they end up, actually, they don't appear here, but they end up emailing me directly, which is fine. My goal is to basically make them do it in one way or another. So I don't care how. But this is probably not a good example because I didn't have time to really show you another one. But there are lots of people that do it. I promise. And if you can't do it, all you have to do is allowed file upload.
File submission, yeah.
File submission, basically.
You have to put a tick on it.
Yes.
Okay. Well, I can take a point, and at some point, I don't know when, but I can modify all the courses. So this is allowed.
So the file submissions has to have a tick.
Here, submission.
Because at least in my courses, it didn't have a tick.
Okay, please take it on. So this is a good idea here if you want them to be able to upload files right here. This is in submission types. Yeah, I know we have to finish.
No, can I ask a quick question? With your what you demonstrate with the Padlet, can people drop their audio files or video files?
Yes.
Thank you.
Yeah. Here, I don't know where my, Padesh, how cool. Inflection, if you're wondering. Okay, but when you come here, you could actually add stuff. You could, well, okay, let's see. There is a way to do it, Mile. I'm 100% sure.
Okay.
I've done it before. So let me just click here and add something myself. If I were to, where is it going here? Okay. And if I see the dots here, you can add a link. You can add a photo and other things like you can upload files and blah, blah, blah. So absolutely.
For sidetracking.
No, it's a good question because the Irena, for example, I know is heavily using Padlet and she's actually asking them to do all kinds of writings and upload them here. And everybody has the walls so they can look at each other's writings and videos and other things. Yeah. Okay, so it's actually a really good question. So, okay, and just a touch more. Yeah, the last thing, this is just, I'm going to throw it out there. I started playing with this. This is something, it's pushing it probably, but there are other pieces. We all know Google Maps, yeah? Maybe we don't know Google Earth, but we know Google Maps. And Google Maps is really cool because it has a 3D way to look at it, and people can use it to make presentations. So there is a way to go to a map, show it in 3D, and start talking about the place. For example, compare restaurants. And people pick 2 different restaurants. You can go visually. People can actually give directions and guide you how to get there. You can see the place and people make presentations about it. It's really cool. Whiteboard chat, one of the, I gotta stop, I know, but there's a whiteboard chat I wanted to share with you. You can divide the screen, guys. When you share the chat, you can divide teams, for example, people in 3 teams, assign tasks and divide your screen into 3. And put numbers 1, 2, 3. People only write in their own section, and it's concurrent writing, answers to questions. Or today we brainstormed on what is one thing we're really grateful for at this very moment. And there were 3 teams. They were competing on a number of ideas. The whiteboard was divided into 3 sections, and people were writing there, which then they went into the breakout rooms and gave more information about. And the rest of the stuff, you know. Okay, so now I can show you finally this happy slide. So I don't know where I got this from, but look at this.
Oh yeah, we've all seen this one.
Okay, we've all seen this one. Fine. This is really cool. We're all switched on. And with that, thank you very much for being here. Hopefully you've got some ideas. Any questions?
No.
No, for now.
Feedback? Was it useful?
Yeah,
yes.
Absolutely.
Okay, well, with that, love is in the air, and let's go enjoy lunch and tea.
Okay.
Have a nice day, Chris.
Have a nice day.
Thank you,
See you.
Chrissie.
Thank you, Chrissie.
So,
Have a
see you later.
Thank you, Chrissie. Bye.
Lovely as always. Thank you.
Bye bye.
Thank you, Chrissie. Bye.
Bye.
Woohoo.